we've got players in the squad that are useless. They're useless. They shouldn't be there. El Nene, tell me.
That's Ramone's boy, isn't it? You got that big, you got a big papa with him, innit?
When?
Nah, it's time ago. This one he was alright.
I would have taken his watch.
He was alright then, man. He was alright then.
That's what he's been doing.
Nah, that's because that's a few years ago,
man. He was alright. He's never been alright. Never. Don't piss me off, fam. El Nene.
Arsenal went to the King Power Stadium, and for the third time in a week, got their asses handed to them. And no, but I got to be honest. Like the Wolves game, I didn't expect you to win because of your away form. Leicester game, I didn't expect you to win. The Crystal Palace game for me that's probably the most embarrassing of the all, because we know your away form is bad, but your home form has been so good. But after you lose to Crystal Palace, and then you think that, all right, we need to do something. We need to make some kind of statement to say that we're not, we're serious about making top four to get into the Champions League. But for me anyway, from minute one, I know I saw some fan, videos. The red card changed the game. The referee this, referee that. But for me, from minute one, from minute 90. Leicester were the better side. They could have scored like in the first 2 minutes from a free kick. That's the way I saw it anyway, I don't know.
Well, listen, this is what happened, yeah, and this is what's been happening. At the beginning of the season, Arsenal had 22 game unbeaten kind of run.
Yeah, no competitions.
Right? Now from that situation there, a lot of people, including probably some of the players, got ahead of themselves. They were a bit overwhelmed because they didn't think they was going to do as well as they did there. We then burnt out. We then got injuries, like for players that are influential within the team. Some of them aren't even the biggest players.
Well, Bellerin's one. He'd been out.
Well, but Bellerin's one of the biggest players. Like he's a big player in the squad. He's not. Do you know what I mean? Like he's a big player. But I'd say like Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck for me isn't like starting 11 or whatever. But you see all these games that we're losing now, he would run. He wouldn't stop running. He's got that in him. Like he's got the momentum. He's been in positions where he's had to deal with those situations before. But the rest of the team, it's like everything's new to them. There's no purpose. They don't. It's like they don't want it, and they don't want to play for the club.
But sure, some of those players have only been here for like a year and a half. You think, okay, like I said, this is his second season. Yeah. Aubameyang was here, came in January. Yeah. Torreira, Guendouzi. Who else came in the summer? Leno,
Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates. Yeah. That man just came in the summer, so they can't. They like if we're talking about them, for example, and in the two strikers, they can't not want to be here after a few months, surely.
Of course, but it's not. The majority of the names that you called are maybe in the list of. The majority of them I'd keep at Arsenal, right? The majority of them, but we've got players in the squad that are useless. They're useless. They shouldn't be there. El Nene, tell me.
That's Ramone's boy, isn't it? You got that big, you got a big papa with him, innit?
When? Nah, it's time ago. This one he was alright.
I would have taken his watch.
He was alright then, man. He was alright then.
That's what he's been doing.
Nah, that's because that's a few years ago, man.
He was alright. He's never been alright. Never. Don't piss me off, fam. El Nene. Carl Jenkinson. From time you have to draw for Carl Jenkinson in the Premier League to start.
I didn't understand that.
Start.
There's a few weeks ago, innit? He got brought back in the
Palace game.
Was that Palace game? No, that wasn't the first game he started.
I don't care what game it is. Carl Jenkinson.
So I'm like, where has he come from? Because I didn't even think he was still at the club.
Bro, nor did I. Nor did I, and it's my club. Carl Jenkinson, on a serious level, like that. Lichtstein, like, bro.
I want to speak. Obviously, you briefly just mentioned Lichtsteiner, but there's another one. You bought Dennis Suarez in January.
Oh God.
So, I can laugh, but while I'm laughing, I'm just thinking about my club at the same time. But we'll get onto them as well. But bought Denis Suarez in January, and he's played maybe 2 games.
No, he's played. I don't know how many games. He's played a total. He's played a total of 95 minutes. All of his minutes,
and the majority of them was on tour in Dubai, where nobody watched the game.
And now he's out for the rest of the season.
He's come back.
So he gone back to Barcelona. So I can't see him getting signed in the summer.
Sure,
obviously, though.
No, I keep him though.
I don't want him at all.
But like, I don't understand what's going on. And then you've got Ramsey who's leaving. I know you, Ramone, you're a bit like, well, if he wants to go kind of thing, and he's not worth the kind of money. But he's one of the few players who, when he's on that pitch playing for Arsenal, I can see that like he actually wants to perform for the club. I'm not saying he wants to be there because obviously he's leaving, innit? So he's made that clear. But he's actually going out there and performing, similar to someone like, say, Hazard, where it's talk about him leaving in the summer. But every time he goes on the pitch, you know he's trying his best. But I don't get that from some players who maybe have signed new contracts or have got long contracts or whatever. And they just seem very comfortable knowing that maybe the position is secure. I don't know.
Well, Ramsey understands the fans. Ramsey understands the loyalty of the players that surrounding and all of these kind of things. Like, of the club. Forget players of surrounding. Of the club. He understands. Do you get me? So when it comes to, let's say, a big derby or something, he's up for it.
I think he's just trying to secure a starting place for Juve, bro.
No, but he's up regardless. Any season he's been on it. Like, he turns up for big games. He's actually a big game player. He's a big game player.
The thing is with Ramsey, like, obviously, it's easy for us to sit here and say, "Oh, yeah, it's our fault. We should have kept him." But end of the day, we offered him a contract. He said no. He wanted more money, innit? And like, we can't keep holding players to ransom because everyone keeps saying you put yourself in a situation where you're making a player to hold you for ransom, end up giving them deals for 5 years. Then after 5 years, they don't play for you. End of the day, we have to make a decision. Do we want to pay the man £400 a week, or do we say, you know what, he's done well for us? And for me, I'm at the point where yes, he's playing well, yes, he's done well, but it's time. Like, cool, like you've done well. Like, I don't see Ramsey improving any more than he is now. He might be the same, which is good, but for me, it's time to say, cool, we're not going to keep you for another 5 years. Like, we don't want to offer you another 5 to 5 years.
But can you trust in your board or the manager to get a player better than him?
Well, if that's the decision they made, they have to. They've got no choice but to. Now, whether it comes or not, we don't know. But I mean, it's a risk, but you got to take it. If the player don't want to, if you offer a player a contract and he says no, I don't want that contract, I want more. What more can you do? He's in his last year, so you say to them, okay, cool. Then you either take the contract we give you, or you say no and you go. If you say no and you go, then we have to give the money to someone else. Now, but
actually, it's an indictment on the club in the sense that
paying 400 grand for what?
No, but you're just explaining bad management overall. Because
what, to pay him 400 grand?
No, not him per se, bro. Look, we pay Mkhitaryan 200 bags a week. I don't care how the swap happened or whatever. We pay him 200 grand a week.
And that's the problem.
And we pay Mesut Ozil, who plays every 3 or 4 games, 350 grand a week. So Ramsey's looking at it as to say, okay, yes, I do get injured every season and whatever, but these men are getting paid, so why shouldn't I be? Now, we said no to him, and he's the one that's performing, my bro. Like, I'm a big Ramsey fan. I like Aaron Ramsey. I think he's a very good player, and he's unfortunate in regards to his injuries over the years. If he never had the injuries that he's had, he'd go that one step more. I think everybody can see that. I think so anyway. But if he goes to Italy, the league's slower over there. He already does the madness in the Prem. When he's on his job, he does a madness.
Is it not an indictment on the club and where is it that the fact that this is not the first time where I would say a key player has been allowed to run his contract down to the last year, and then basically you're gonna have to sell him like. Because Sanchez was in his last 6 months, wasn't it? Before he went. Before that, of course, Van Persie, the biggest one I can think of. Yeah. And Ashley it's like, Cole? Of course, Ashley Cole. It's like something's not clicking to say, you know what, we need to tie these players down with 2 years to go, or sell them at that point where you're doubling. Ramsey's going for free. You're not getting no money for him.
But this is the whole Arsene Wenger, Ivan Gazidis regime. It was them man that were there before. Like, once them man are there, leaving the new regime with a player 1 year, what can they do? All they can do is offer him the money or not. So Selets and Heli, or the other two new guys that came in, all they can do is say, look, Gazidis and Wenger have got you here. All I can do is give you the money or not. We can't do nothing about what them man did before. Them man are gone now, innit? We saw that problem. They got rid of them. They're still there. If that continues to happen, then there's obviously another problem elsewhere. But at the moment, them man can only say, look, I can only give you a certain amount. That's all we got. Like, okay, you can look at them as, but even the Özil and Mkhitaryan situation, that's still Gazidis and Wenger. They were still there doing them deals. So like for them, they can't say, all right, cool. They offered Özil that. Doesn't mean we can offer you that. You can. Ramsey's fully entitled to say what he has to say. Like fully entitled. And if anything, it's better for him to go Juventus. Like if I was him, I'm thinking, yeah, why are you even asking for more money? Just go Juventus, bro. It's Juventus, isn't it? Like go. Like on your behalf, you definitely, you've been there for 9 years. You done your thing. Yeah. Like you scored.
Champions League football's guaranteed. Probably Serie A's guaranteed.
Yeah, you can get
Ronaldo's guaranteed.
Yeah, difference.
Yeah. So you're good over there. For us, and this is what I say. For me, I don't think we'll look back and say, unless, and also the thing is, if we offered Ramsey a new deal, paying that 400 grand a week, the new squad we want to sign in the summer, that's at least 2-3 man wages gone. So when we're asking for players in the summer and you say, why are we signing? So you might want Ramsey to say, give him a 400 grand a week. If that doesn't happen this summer, then you can say, cool, but we let Ramsey go, you didn't give him the money, you didn't give it to someone else. So then I can see the argument for that. But it's all about, you say it's bad man management, but it depends what happens this summer for me to then say, it's bad management. Because if nothing then happens at all...
Yeah, no, but there's been bad man management within the club. The
whole time,
I'm saying. So even all the way from the top to the amount of money that we have to spend to the expectations that we have. So you give us, chips. You give us chips and you expect us to bring home a steak. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. Do you understand? Like, I don't know, man. The club's in probably it's not in crisis like it was a little while back. Yeah, like there's some sort of something happening. But I
it looks like they're trying to move in the right direction, but maybe it's just a longer process.
Pump some more, a little. Come on, just a change, bro. Like just a 3 figures, 100 mil. Let's work with that, man. I'm hearing 45 mil,
50 mil. I heard for in the budget. I mean. Obviously, you bought a couple players in the previous windows. Obviously, Lacazette came, 40 million? Aubameyang came, was he 60? 60 million. But when you think, like Liverpool, for example, they spent 75 Van Dijk, 70 million Alisson, sorry. 40, I think it's 40 each for like Naby Keita and Fabinho. And that's just, and they were still trying to get Nabil Fekir as well. That's what Arsenal and other clubs are having to compete with, as opposed to just one marquee signing, you might say. But tell me about Sunday, because what is the difference? I know there's a difference between playing home and away, but Arsenal's home form, Crystal Palace aside, Arsenal's home form and their away form is like chalk and cheese. And I don't understand. The ball is round. The pitch is usually pretty much the same size, give or take a few meters, and the grass is green. So why is it that Arsenal's, I think they're probably in the bottom half table for away performances at a time when you need to be getting results to push into the top 4? You've been beat 3-0 twice in a row. What happened on Sunday?
It's not just Sunday, it's the whole season pretty much. Barring Fulham, we won 5-1. I think that's about it. Like the whole season, pretty much, we've been scraping wins, scraping draws through, which was all right when we were going unbeaten, because that's what we needed, just to get through the games. Look back and say, cool, we got through that. We got 3 points. We keep moving. But I don't even know, man. There's come a stage where they just weren't on it.
Did you go into the game with any hope that you were going to get something out of it?
At Leicester?
Yeah.
No.
I went with my heart. I did my preview for Leicester game. I said Arsenal win. If I gave my heart, or Arsenal win 2-1. If I go my head, have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's
You generally don't know. And we went with 4-4-2. We played 4-4-2, not 4-4-2 diamond, 4-4-2 flat with 2 wingers like Beckham and Giggs. 4-4-2, old school. Like, it's the first time we've done that the whole season. Like, we're already in disarray. We have a couple of formations that have been working, and we change up the whole thing again. You put Maitland-Niles and Kolasinac, who are both wing backs, at right back and left back. It won't be a Mkhitaryan, who are both, well, more attacking wingers at right midfield and left midfield. So you already got 4 men out of position already. Maitland-Niles wasn't in natural right back anyway. And then Mustafi comes in for Koscielny. That's another position. That's another. I don't understand that. Monreal's injured. Ozil's injured. Everything just gets changed. You're looking. You're thinking. It on paper, individually, looks like a team that could maybe do something, but in the reality, when you look at it, it's just like it's a bit of a mess. And I don't understand why there's a need to constantly change the whole team. And when your away form's bad, you stick to what you know, at least. You know what I mean? You at least try and do what you know.
But then, Cal, obviously, Arsenal, where they went to Wolves, got beat 3-0.
If 3-1.
Oh, 3-1, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, Socrates scored. Does Emery have to then change it? He can't surely go with that same team. I don't know, maybe he can. But I mean, if he goes with the same team that lost 3-1 and then, I don't know if it was exactly the same team that lost to Palace in the game before, he's under pressure because he has to change something. Because if he goes with the same team and they lose again, then he's definitely going to get criticised for not basically learning from his mistakes.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't say you have to make a change because sometimes you go on a bit of a 2-3 match, poor form, run of form. You don't have to necessarily change. Maybe what you do change is on the pitch and not necessarily in personnel, more like tactics or your approach to the game. You can change, but not necessarily the personnel. Because like Ramone said, Maitland-Niles is way out of position. I don't even know why he's even playing where he is. I mean, at right back, it was probably gonna happen. Him getting 2 yellows, getting sent off. It was probably always gonna happen.
Do you think that was the right decision?
No.
Do you think any of the cards were yellow cards?
Potentially.
Because I missed the first one.
I think
the first one was something about shoulder.
the first one didn't need to be a yellow card simply because it was probably near enough one of the first fouls. It was his first foul, number one. Bad intention, yeah, but referee could have had a word. Understand the game, and you know, like how when it's a so-called big game, let's say it's an El Clasico or something like that, right? Or the big derbies or whatever.
We're not comparing Arsenal and Leicester to El Clasico.
No. But it's a big game for both.
I'm just checking, isn't it?
And it's a big referee. He's a big referee. I like
Who's it?
Michael
Oliver.
Oliver is a good referee. So, yes, I caught you and whatever, but allow me, ref. Like, give me the benefit of the doubt. You see what I'm saying? And then he gave me 2 as well.
For me, the second one, I didn't see the first one, but I thought the second one was. You didn't think it was.
For me, both the first one, yeah.
Because the second one stopped an attack. Granted, he actually played advantage quickly and then brought it back. And I think the reason why he brought it back is because it would have been a red card. If there was no red card, then he could book him later. But because it was going to result in a red card, then he had to bring it back.
The first one, for me, it was a foul on Aubameyang from early anyway.
Okay.
Before Maitland-Niles was even there, Aubameyang got fouled. I'm thinking, why is it not a free kick? And then he stops the play. You could argue, it was early. Maybe could have got away with it. He could have let it go. I was surprised. 6 minutes in, he gave him a yellow card. The second one, for me, he lunged in, but he didn't touch him. Like, he lunged in to try and stop the attack. It wasn't like it was a 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. There was about 3 of them and against.
You sure he didn't touch him?
He didn't touch him. He lunged in front of him, but there was no contact. Okay. But he went down holding his leg and with a screen. But you look at the replays, there's actually no. Maitland-Niles' leg doesn't touch Maddison's leg at all. Like he lunged in, so it looks like he's lunged in to make contact, but he's only gone to block the ball, and there was no contact at all. But it's a foul. I don't give me it's a foul because he's lunged in front of him. But a yellow card for that, for me, I think maybe it's the angle of the referee. I know Dermot Gallagher was saying it's the angle of the referee that he probably was on. Like if he had seen it clearly, or maybe they said if he had VAR or whatever, you could look back and see it. Even though I don't know if it would be, but he wouldn't have given it a second yellow for that. He thinks, but because of the angle where he lunged, just looked like he lunged in. But yeah, regardless of that for me just sealed the loss. Like it was going to be a hard work, even though we got to half time at 0-0. But we worked. We had to. Leno made bare saves anyway, and it just looked like once their red card was gone, it was like damage limitation, and we still lost 3-0. So, and the mad thing is, them 9 goals conceded, we're now 1 goal behind Chelsea in the goal difference. So, we were ahead, and now Chelsea are 2 points ahead.
Plus
if they draw in one of their last 2 games and we win, it's still going to go down to goal difference. So, them 3 games, even on goals alone, could just mess us up. But what I was saying before the Leicester game, though, is that it's if I look at the whole season as a perspective, we're 2 points off top 4. We're the semi-finals of Europa League. Like it's hard because we've just lost 3 games in a row. But you have to look overall and say, you know what? If you gave me this at the start of the season, I probably would have taken it, considering how far fourth we were last year, and we were in 6th. Cash.
I think you're probably about 10 points better off.
Yeah,
this
10 points better off this
than
year.
you were at this stage last year.